Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the channel. And for this video, we're going to be taking our first look at Thor's Avengers Endgame uniform. Now, before I continue any further, for those of you guys who are simply here just for the gameplay, please feel free to skip to the later portion of the video because I have quite a lot to say in regards to this uniform. And I know a lot of you guys are going to tell me I'm being really negative. And to those of you guys, I just want to say, welcome to a channel where if I feel like something is really good, I will scream to the heavens about just how good I feel it is. And if it is bad, I will scream just as loudly in that regard. So welcome to a channel where you get 100% of me 100% of the time. I'm not going to sugarcoat anything for anyone just to appeal to a wider audience. That's not me. As a man, I live and die by my word. If I feel like something is not good, I'm not going to sugarcoat anything and tell you, yeah, it's good enough. No. If it's good, it's good. If it's not good enough, it's just not good enough. And in this case, this is not good enough for me. So it may not be good enough for a lot of you guys as well. So let's jump right into it, man. Well, you were warned, so you can skip to the gameplay if you're only here for that. So let me go ahead and take a look at the uniform. So if you are new to the game, because I know we're going to get a lot of people coming in with Avengers Endgame. If you're new to the game and this is what your Thor currently looks like, or even this, you should definitely, absolutely buy either Fat Thor or the team suit for Thor, because what you're going to get is a character that is 10 times better, easily 10 times better than this. If you have the Ragnarok uniform, what you're going to get is a character that is 5 times better if you go to this or this. If you have the Infinity War uniform, what you're going to get by purchasing the team suit or the Endgame uniform is a character that is 20% better. Just keep that in mind. So as you progress in uniforms, the buff offensively and defensively, rather, both is the same, right? It gets less and less and less. So just keep that in mind. And 20% is probably not enough for most of you guys to shell out an additional 1,000 crystal. For me, I bought it because I absolutely love Thor and I want to have every uniform for him. That's just me. But for most of you guys who don't have the resources, I would definitely not recommend that you do that, okay? Only buy the ones that you really believe in. And frankly, what you're gonna be able to do with this and what you're gonna be able to do with this or this is not very different. He's not gonna be a PvP character, he's not gonna reclaim ABX, and he's not going to be like the best character for World Boss Ultimate. He's gonna be very good there, he's gonna be very good in PvE, but he's still not going to be what we wanted. He's definitely still not going to be as good as Endgame Captain America, and chances are Captain America is going to get even better for whatever else they decide to give him later on down the road. So it's quite unfortunate that this is the situation that Thor is in. And I know a lot of you guys are going to say, well, Thor got fat in Avengers Endgame, so of course they wouldn't give him a big buff. And to you people, I just want to say, seriously, that's the reason why they didn't give him a big buff? Because he got fat? Let me ask you this. If your father died, if your sister died, if your brother died, if your best friend died, if half of your people died, your home got destroyed, and then you got a chance to avenge those people and right those wrongs, and you aimed for the heart of the person that wronged you the most, and they looked you in the eye and told you, you should have aimed for the head, because decapitation would have been the ultimate victory. If they looked you in the eye and told you that, and then snapped away half of your friends and another half of the people you had left, how would you feel? How would you feel? Would you not fall into a state of depression? That's exactly what happened to Thor in Avengers Endgame. Most of you guys think it's just for comic relief. No. There's a much deeper undertone as to why Thor is the way he is in Avengers Endgame. He turned to alcohol and food as often as normal people would to solve their problems. A problem that was basically unsolvable, okay? So most of you guys really need to cut Thor some slack. Now, in addition to that, I see a lot of you guys saying, well, Thor's fat, and the Avengers clearly state that he's no longer what he once was. So that means he's weaker than he was in Infinity War. And that is the reason why they didn't give him a big buff. Really? That is the reason. Okay, hear me out. The Avengers are holding Thor to human standards. If you see a guy and he's buff and then he got fat, your immediate assumption is that guy fell off, bro. Damn, this guy put on a lot of weight. He's slower now, you know what I'm saying? He's not as strong. However, we're talking about Thor. Thor is a god. The Asgardian physiology is completely different than that of a normal human being. As they age, they become more powerful. Being fat isn't really a limitation because of the fact that we know for a fact that Odin has gone toe-to-toe with Thanos with the Infinity Gauntlet several times and he didn't budge an inch. Odin is fat and he's old as dust. Being fat doesn't mean anything, okay? Let me just clear that up. Being fat doesn't mean anything. So that is not a good enough reason for Netmarble to give Thor a lackluster uniform. In addition to that, I just want to point out a trend that I've noticed in Marvel Future Fight in the time that I've been playing this game. There was a time when we got uniforms for 750 crystals and we were basically guaranteed to get 3 to 5 skill changes, probably a change to the uniform bonus as well. Then that time ended. Then we entered the era of premium uniforms, right? Where you had to pay 1,000 crystals on sale. We're never talking about uniforms that are not on sale, okay? Never buy uniforms when there's not on sale, okay? Let me just clear that up. Anyways, so then we entered the era of paying 1,000 crystals, so paying more for the same 3 to 5 skill changes. Now we're in the era of pay 1,000 crystals but get 1 skill change. Do you guys see the downward spiral? Do you guys see it? That to me tells me that it's only a matter of time before we re-enter the era in this game where Netmarble sold uniforms that offered no skill changes for crystals. Do you guys remember those days? If you've been around the block, you remember when this uniform and several like it were sold for crystals. Now they're being sold for gold, but there's still a lot of them that offer next to nothing, and in some cases nothing for something, and a lot of something, because a lot of crystals are being wasted by a lot of you guys who are not informed. So I just want to point this out. A lot of you guys are making excuses for Netmarble, but just remember that it's people like you that is going to re-usher the era of when you pay for a uniform and get next to nothing for it. Aesthetics alone is not good enough to do anything in Marvel Future Fight. If I wanted to build a character just to have them sit in my roster, oh my goodness, I'm not even gonna go there, boys. Yeah, so I just want to point that out for you guys, okay? And in addition to what I said earlier about Thor being fat and that not being a limitation, I know a lot of you guys are gonna immediately counter that argument by saying, well, he got stomped out by Thanos in Endgame and he put up a much better fight in Infinity War. Let me say this. The Thanos we got in Infinity War and the Thanos we got in Avengers Endgame were two different people. And by different people, I mean they had two different purposes altogether. The Thanos that we got in Infinity War was a man on a mission to get from point A to point B, to collect the stones and neutralize any and everyone that is in his way. Neutralize, not killed. He killed people who he needed to kill. Just keep that in mind. The only person he made an attempt to kill is the person who ultimately defeated him in Avengers Endgame. Everybody else, he neutralized them because he felt no need to kill them. He underestimated them, and honestly, he just wanted the stones. He showed up, he said, "Where's the stone? Give it to me." He beat them into submission, he takes the stone. If they don't have the stone, he gets the information, and poof, he's gone. He wanted to create balance. That was his goal, not to kill them. In Avengers Endgame, the Thanos we got was a Thanos that saw that balance wasn't enough. Extinction is what he needed. So he had a different purpose. This time he wanted to kill them. So that is why he fought much harder and why he seemed a lot stronger than he did in Infinity War. And that is why Thor got stomped out, and everybody, in my opinion, seems to think Thor got weaker because of that. And honestly, if Thor got weaker, I could live with Netmarble giving us a uniform that represents that. However, we didn't get skill changes that represent the Thor that we got in Avengers Endgame. We just got something that seems very lazy. They basically just took this uniform, repurposed it, made his body all weird like, because the proportions are not right. I don't have a problem with him being fat. You guys know I love him. Fat doesn't matter. My guy, big belly Thor, you know what I'm saying? I love him, right? So it doesn't matter to me that he's fat. They repurposed the uniform, and all they could bother to do was just give him a buff on his Force skill. That's it, and a slight change to the uniform bonus. Nobody in their right mind can tell me that this is worth 1,000 crystals. Are you insane, bro? Are you insane? This is worth 1,000 crystals when we get uniforms like Ronin. You know what I'm saying? Like, it doesn't make sense, bro. This uniform is in the same category as people like Iron Man's uniform and War Machine's uniform, and to an extent, Black Widow. Uniforms that you shouldn't be buying unless you really use those characters in a lot of different game modes. You know what I'm saying? Because they're really not worth the 1,000 crystals, in my opinion. In my opinion, to me. But to you, you may feel differently. Please feel free to argue with me in the comment section. Just be respectful, otherwise I won't even bother reading your comments. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, guys, that's how I feel about this uniform. I feel like it's lazy, and it's a sign that we may be ending, like seriously, we may end the era of when we get skill changes for uniforms. We may actually go back to those dark days. So be forewarned. Anyways, boys, we're gonna jump into a little bit of gameplay with my Thor. I'm gonna give you guys a little comparison between the Infinity War uniform and the Endgame uniform, because it's definitely an upgrade. It's not a downgrade, right? And if you don't like Fat Thor, get the slim version. You know what I'm saying? He actually looks really cool in this, right? So we're actually gonna use him in this because I actually really like how he looks. Like, he looks really, really cool, right? So to me, Netmarble let me down, bro. They let me down big time. I was really looking forward to Thor in this uniform, and I gotta say, man, it's disappointing. So we're gonna use him, and let's actually take this uniform off. We'll use the Infinity War uniform first, and we'll do a quick run, a DPS check against Thanos here, and you guys can see for yourself that it's a clear upgrade, but still, it's not enough to justify the cost. So we're just gonna push the big guy down to 11 bars. Just so you guys can see what the damage looks like. We're really struggling to put out damage here. And the reason for that is because all the bosses are immune to shock damage. And basically all of Thor's bonus damage comes from shock damage, right? Look at that. We use his tier 3 there, and basically no real damage. No real damage. And that's because these bosses are just immune to shock damage. So he'll never ever get to a point where he can really dominate in World Boss Ultimate until they do something about them being immune to shock damage, or they just remove the shock damage as a thing and just convert it to lightning damage, right? It's just really sad, man. Like, it's really sad. Like, that 25% attack buff that he gets on the Force skill, it's definitely significantly better than what he has now. But if you're not gonna use Thor like a lot in World Boss Ultimate, or if you no longer use him for ABX, there's no point. There's really no point in buying it. You're just wasting your crystals. And if they did this because they're gonna sell us another uniform for him for War of Realms, I'm gonna be so disgusted. Like, I can absolutely not stomach companies that do stuff like that, and I will never ever tolerate stuff like that. Like, give people a crappy product just because you know you're gonna sell something better in a few months. I will never agree with that, ever. Even though ultimately it's up to the players to decide whether or not they want to purchase whatever it is, it's still not something I can stomach. It's still disgusting. Like, we're really struggling here to do damage. We'll stop at 2 minutes because this is really, really sad. I thought he could do better than this. All right, so there we go. 13 and a half bars left. Let's actually swap into the other suit. Kind of want to use the fat suit just because I know most of you guys hate that. But we'll use the one that most of you guys are probably going to buy, this one. Even though it doesn't have Mjolnir, even though Mjolnir is basically an accessory, an ornament. Like, it's absolutely stupid. Like, they gave him Mjolnir, but he doesn't even use it. It's literally just there for show. Like, oh, this is Endgame Thor, guys. You can tell by the fact that he has 2 hammers, but that's it. You know what I'm saying? Like, he doesn't even use it, but that's it. It's so stupid, bro. Like, the way he plays is exactly the same. The good thing about this uniform is you get that 1 guard hit that can bump up his survivability a little bit more. Okay, we get that buff. Hit him with that tier 3. Still doesn't do that much damage. It's like freaking pathetic, bro. Can't lie, I prefer how he looks like this compared to even his Infinity War look. It looks so cool and it looks so different. Also, I like how his hair is shaded. Like, his hair looks really, really cool. Okay, I got hit there. But it's okay, we're just gonna keep pushing. Like, you guys can see, the damage is definitely significantly better. That finesse though. Call me the finesse god. I'm just playing. Alright boys, so we've already passed it and we're like what, 30 seconds before the time. Let's keep pushing and see just how much we can do in the 2 minutes. Okay, stop hiding. Just too annoying. Okay, so we got like 21 seconds, but he's gonna eat up that time with just this like, seriously, all that extra damage that's just being wasted. It's just so stupid. Absolutely ridiculous, bro. I think we can take off maybe like 1 more bar off of him. Nope. Yeah, well, he's gonna hide, so no. You guys can see for yourself, it's a noticeable increase in DPS, but is it worth 1,000 of your crystals? Completely up to you guys. Completely up to you. For me, since I love Thor, I bought it, but I still don't think it's worth it, so I will never recommend it to anybody unless they rework it. Anyways, boys, we're gonna wrap it up right here, man. Let me know how you guys are feeling personally. But before we go, if you want a chance to win $25, all you gotta do is let me know where this quote is from. Ready? It's not a movie quote, just a heads up. To live is to suffer, but to survive, well, let me know where that's from. I feel like that quote fits exactly what is going on with Thor right now. Let me know where it's from. Be the first one to do it, and you can get yourself a chance to win $25. I'll catch you guys in the next one, man. If y'all want to see more gameplay with Thor, either in the team suit or in the Endgame uniform, let me know in the comments, guys. I'm going to have fun with him because I have mad love for Thor. So regardless of what they do to him, they'll never like make it so that I don't enjoy using the character, if you get what I mean. It's one of those things. The love is just too strong. There's just too much there. Anyways, boys, I'm out, man. Peace. I feel like I have way too much of an emotional connection to some of these characters, and that's why I get so mad when stuff happens to them. I really gotta like become more emotionally detached so I can like not make videos like these. Shit.